Volunteering is the universal gateway of helping others. We always hear the cliche, help others, live longer, be happier, and of course, helping others makes us such better or more better human beings. We don't take into account our own feelings when we volunteer, and this is a key point that I will be talking about in this speech. Now, for my first citation, I have 3 different quotes which I've taken off of the internet. So, the youth who are involved in practices of volunteering are less likely to get into bad behaviors and criminal issues. It is also observed that these young people score good grades in academics as well. So we see a decrease in violence in the youth of our age today. The spirit of volunteering is found more in those adults who volunteered when they were younger than those who did not in their young age. So of course, the younger you are, if you start volunteering young, when you get older, you're going to volunteer more, and of course, you're gonna pass that trait off to your offspring, so they're going to want to volunteer because they see mom and dad want to volunteer as well. Despite the young volunteering in America, the age group that dominates the practice of volunteering in America lies from ages 35 to 44. Now, we see youth likes to volunteer, and of course, ages 35 to 44. Now, this leaves a great deal of gap in between. So the youth is considered 14 to about 21, and then from 35 to 44, that's more than a 10-year difference. And in order for the brain to fully mature, it has to mature by, say, the age 21, and by that time your brain is learning to mature and you're learning to see the world from a whole new way. This is a great way for you to finally experience some personal benefits of volunteering. Volunteering has personal benefits such as reducing stress, making you feel healthier about yourself, and giving you civic responsibility. Not to mention that it strengthens your community. So, my second citation comes from anxiety disorders, as they are the most common in America. Anxiety disorders as well lead to bigger problems such as depression, and those correlate with each other. We also have OCD, which affects 1/3 of the American women's population, and we as well have more than 40 million adults over the age of 18, with a wider percentage to actually gain anxiety. What I'm trying to get you to see here is that you don't have to be born with this. It can just happen, and a lot of these things happen because of stress-related issues. So, stress causes anxiety, genetics, who you hang out with, and what your personality is like. Your personality reflects who you are, and who you hang out with reflects the person that you are as well. So the main idea here is that I'm basically showing you different ways that you can consume this anxiety, and these are some of the ways that you can help to mitigate these problems within yourself. So, some ways that you can volunteer if you want to volunteer but you don't know how to, you look at the best traits that you have. If you love to read, and if you're a good advocate, read to children, read to the blind, read to the elderly. If you like to, say, plant or garden, you plant a garden and you give all the food that you've grown to the local food banks. Those food banks will give it to the less fortunate people, and you're reducing your stress levels. It is seen that gardening actually does reduce your stress levels. If you like to talk, you can actually become a big brother or a big sister and help advocate positively and influence children of all ages, especially those who don't have the best of homes. That was my second citation. My third citation comes into play when people say that they don't have time to volunteer, they don't have the money, and they just don't want to. So a big deal of volunteering is wanting to volunteer. So of course you're going to want to volunteer because it's going to benefit you. So if you don't have time, money, or any of that, you can always donate your old clothes. You always need to get rid of the clothes that you have in your closet after certain seasons. You know, you're not going to wear it anymore. You give it to the donations such as Goodwill, and they will reuse it, refurbish it, and give it to people who actually do need it. You can donate the extra food that you have in your pantry and just give it away. And volunteering doesn't always require time, it's just really about the personal effort that you want to put into it. You haven't noticed, but this entire speech I have been talking about volunteering, and this is a way for me to volunteer to my audience. I'm telling you guys about different ways that you can volunteer. This may be involuntarily, but I'm still explaining to other people, advocating, such as Big Brother, that volunteering is a great way to do things. So, volunteers help to keep our neighborhood streets, parks, rivers, and waters clean and safe. This is my 4th citation. A way that this makes you healthier is that you're not an old prune, you're not sitting around, you're actually moving the collagen in your bodies and becoming a more active person. You will feel amazing about yourself. This was my 5th citation. And finally, my last citation, which is reiterating the fact that it makes you a better person, it makes you feel less stressed, and the fact that it gives you civic responsibility. You know that you're helping out the community, but you're also helping out yourself, which makes you shape out to be a better person in the end. Volunteering reduces stress. You put in the time to do something you really want to do and you don't see an obligation. This mitigates any stress. It makes you healthier because you move around so much. This makes you happy, which makes you live longer. The civic responsibility is shown when you decide to donate your time or your money. Your community will be united, and you can also do this by your call to action. UNICEF collects less than $1 a day. If you can't give money, use the credentials that you have earned in college, such as if you work at a bank, donate your time to create a plan to collect a certain amount of funds. Thank you for hearing out my speech. My name is Amy, and does anybody have any questions?
No.